this basically before to this there has been a speaker who have given the different on the covered the different aspect of the plastic recycling, waste management, challenges, various aspects has been covered. This topic is basically maybe some of things, maybe repetition or some content, maybe like that. So about general information about the plastic waste and presentation from now. And then it is about national and international standard which are applied for the recovery, recycling of the material, and the guidelines which are there at the place. And then the overview on the recovery and recycling of the plastic waste, and then there will be some aspect which I can talk. I'll be mentioning about the plastic waste management rule 2017-16 and amended, which is 2018, and further there is an amendment very recently. Not disturbance. This is in general, which will be normally you may be aware now by the time about the, suppose we deal in the different value for the plastic waste. Based on that, and they're based on the application, it is we talk about the commodity plastics, engineering plastics based on their applications. Like some plastics are for normal applications and some are very high valued plastic, which are normally engineering plastics. And then based on their applications, like they may be amorphous, crystalline. They means some plastics which are in the transparent, they are amorphous. Some are crystalline, which are opaque in the nature, then thermoplastic and thermosets. As we all know that the most of the about 80% of the plastic which are available, they are thermoplastics, and with very specific application, there are thermoplastics, thermoset material, which are basically not recyclable, whereas thermoplastics are recyclable plastics like PET, LDP, polyethylene, polypropylene, polystyrene, ABS, polyvinyl chloride, polycarbonate, etc. These are the plastic which are basically thermoplastic and they can be recycled several times. And most of the things are there which are high in the volume percentage, the thermoplastics. This you might have seen by the earlier, normally to see their nomenclature, their categories, properties and applications, they are coded with the symbol like if this showing it is recyclable with their number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which are the other category of plastic. There are 7 numbers. Means just for the easy identification and easy and knowing that this material are having this code. In many applications, these codes are will be visible on the product itself, which is available in the market, which is available. It is just for identification. And the important is that the source of plastic waste. What are the source of plastics waste? Is one which is the as you know that the plastic we account in the two way. One is the when the plastic raw material is manufactured, is produced, which is a plastic raw material from the petroleum byproduct to the when it is converted into the raw material. So during the that is by the polymerization process, and during the polymerization process in the plant where the plastic granule is produced, there are due to the inconsistency in the process parameter, if suppose anything has gone, switching over from one grade to another grade, there is a material which are produced of the different, suppose it is intended to achieve particular grade, particular property in a material, but because of switching over or because of uncontrolled parameter, the material property may get changed. So those materials are having the wide specification, means whatever was the desired property, that instead of that desired property, their property has widely varied, means changed. So off-grade material. So these are the one source which are the raw material is produced. So they are categorized at wide spec and off-grade material, non-prime, prime, like that definitions are used. And then when these plastic materials are, granules are used in the manufacturing process from the plastic raw material, once it is used to produce a particular product, say I have to make a shoe sole, say, or suppose I have to make the automobile body. So yeah, plastic film of, suppose I want to produce of 100 micron thickness. It is targeted 100 micron thickness, but while setting the parameter, while setting the process, sometime it may produce 130, 140, 150, 200 micron. Sometime it may be a 90, maybe 70. So this, during the setting process or during the plant is running, suppose something got failed, power failure or something. So during that process, there is a possibility that what was be targeted to produce 100 micron thin film may be that some area may be having 150 micron, some area it may have 90 micron, somewhere 75 micron. So such materials, such product will not be used for the intended application, then that has to be scrapped. So this type of process, plastic wastes are called the plant waste. Means while producing a product in the plant, if suppose some process parameter could not be controlled and it lead to the generating the scrap, and such scraps are plant waste. It can be a semi-finished product. Suppose I am trying to produce a particular automobile component, but somewhere it is product is not completely filled, somewhere thickness is less, somewhere shape is different. So that is also a plant waste. Or if the material is produced and during the quality control, in the routine quality control, if it is found that it's some parameter is not meeting, then such materials are also rejected. And such rejected materials are having the basically free from contaminations. They are produced in the plant, and they are has to be again available for recycling. And this type of wastes are not coming into the consumer area. They are not having the contamination. They are not adding any foreign particles. Such things are recycled and they are called the plant waste. So the plant waste quality is basically better. They are free from contaminations. And then there are another category of source of plastic waste is a post-consumer sources. Like suppose I purchased a milk pouch, I consumed the milk and that pouch became free. Now that is a post-consumer waste. I purchased some item and brought the carry bag, and that has gone thrown out. So variety of product which are used by the consumer, and after this purpose is over, then it comes in the waste stream, and such products are such plastic waste which are again to be recycled, raw material to be made from those material, and such are called the post-consumer waste. Then there are some durable goods which are basically a long period, like suppose car body, suppose is the washing machine, which is a 5-year, 7-year, any other which are having the long service, like laptop, like computer, like printer body, like Xerox machine body. It is always made of plastics, but their life is 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. So this durable product, once their life is over, then it comes in as a source of plastic for recycling. So these all are these different sources. There are broadly the 4 sources of plastic waste which are to come for the recycling. This is one data which are available with a wide variation, that in the different application, how much percentage of the plastics are used, which may be gradually, time to time, it is being upgraded. It may be the figure might have been added some, and these are generally an indicator. It is an indicator of what is the percentage of plastic is going in the different applications, different types of applications. Most common terminology, basically, while I am talking about the recycling and recovery and national standard, some terminology we are very oftenly using, and that terminology just I have compiled here, which just for your information. Sometimes this, like biodegradation is one terminology. Sometimes in the people talk about the biodegradation. Then biological recycling means that is another terminology is used. Then commingled plastics, where this is terminology used in the plastic recycling process, because the plastic are getting mixed in the when it is coming to the waste stream from post-consumer waste. It is variety of plastic are getting mixed together, and each plastics have got the different characteristics, different processing characteristics, different colors they are available, different thicknesses are there. Some plastic may be the bottle form, some plastic may be film form, some may be the molded form. So these all mixture together are the commingled plastic. Maybe some is electronic waste. Then contaminants means suppose unwanted substances which may be present, which will be basically a very important, how to recycle in the best way, in the better quality of the unwanted substances may be there, because it is thrown out in the outside, where it may get mud or any unwanted material. Then depolymerization, basically the chemical reversion of polymers into the monomer, means the polymer, it is a chemical recycling where the polymers can be converted into the monomer of low molecular weight. Energy recovery, sometimes we are using that plastic is used to recover the energy, because it carries the enough calorific value. Different plastic has got different calorific value. So at the end of the release, suppose it at one stage comes that the plastic is no more viable to be recycled. So then the option of energy recovery is applied. So that it is by incineration and other things can be the energy from the plastic can be recovered. Then environmental aspect means different aspect of the plastic related with the environment. Environmental impact, many times we are talking about the plastic, its impact on the environment. Flakes means plastics get different shape and format, like plate, like regrinds. This are flakes. Then homogenizing means to make it homogeneous, different types of plastic, color, pigment, so that the uniform property is achieved. Because once the homogeneity is not there in the polymer, if suppose it contains the color, fibers or different other materials together, its proper mixing or uniformity is important for its good performance and quality of the product. Then material recovery. Recovery is basically how best possible way we can again get back the recovery of the plastics for the purpose of further uses. Then mechanical recycling means this is a basically recycling produces the secondary raw material by physical mean, by physically heating, cooling, and giving the shape of the granule and flakes, and micronizing or organic recycling. Organic recycling is basically controlled microbial treatment of biodegradation of plastic waste under the aerobic and anaerobic conditions. That is actually it is it is in the particular environment it is possible to be carried out. As I said, the post-consumer, like as I said, that once whatever the product which we are using it, and once the usage is over, product lost its life or exhausted its usage intended life, it comes into the post-consumer stream. Recovered material means which are recycled and taken back. Recovery, recyclate is actually the plastic which are recycled and it forms it produced in the form of granule. So we give them the name as a recyclate. Recyclate means the granule which are produced after the performing the recycling process. The granule generated is recycling. Reuse means again using again and again. Shredding means normally is a cutting to small sizes is shredding, because sometimes the plastics which are available, plastic waste which is available is in the very big size and heavy weight. It is not easy to put into the machine for melting purpose, because the size is big, weight is very high. So in such situation, the shredding is done so that it is cut into the smaller size so that it can be fed into the machine. Then one terminology normally is being talked, or it is there, is a single-use plastic. Actually, this we are talking about the single-use plastics is the plastic which is used one time and its purpose is over. Then such plastics we term as a single-use plastic. Say for example, drinking water bottle, 200 ml. Suppose I am taking it. So once we have consumed, its purpose is over. Say milk pouch is a single-use plastic. Once the milk has come into the pouch, after usage, this pouch is become post-consumer waste. It became the waste. It has like biscuit package. It is the single-use plastic. Like flower bouquet wrappers. It is a single-use plastic. Straw, spoon. Many times it is used for the plastic carry bag. Like beverages bottle, wine bottle, etc. There are so many products can be listed, which are basically used once and it cannot be used second time, or it cannot be used for any other purpose. So such plastics, such products are single-use plastics, single-use product. Plastic recycling, basically what is actually the process of recovering waste or scrap plastic into by the reprocessing into the plastic granule, so that the purpose of the recycling is to reduce the high rate of pollutions, because if it is not recycled, a lot of post-consumer waste will be lying in the environment and putting the lot of pressure. And the second thing is that this material carries the value. It has to be recycled, and then it can be again, becomes the secondary source of material. Means because with the quite better certain source of plastics, waste are having the better quality, and they are available as the source of material. Normally everybody knows that what is the need of recycling, but it is since I have to take this in this, you all know that the billion tons of plastic is manufactured every day throughout the world, and once the plastic is used, it comes in the waste stream, and either it has to be thrown out or it has to be reused. reusing is possible only by recycling, and then once it is, therefore it is need to recycle it. Conserve the resources and dive into the ocean. It is a kind of resource for us. That resource will be recovered by, if suppose it goes, prevent from the landfill, prevent from going into the rivers, prevent from going into the ocean. It is a recycling is basically, it is the saves energy, stop pollution, and land which is used for storage, it can be used for because the plastics are used with some certain applications. They are used with certain type of additive which may be leaching into the environment, and leakage of the such additives which may not be environment friendly may go to the source of water, it may be to the land, and it may affect to the environmental part of the environmental aspect of the things. This material are durable and lightweight. It can be readily molded into the various shape. The recovery of plastic, these are the method by which is being recovered. One is the mechanical recycling, other we are talking about chemical recycling, and third is the biological recycling. Mechanical recycling is just, it is used in the thermoplastic material because it is possible to remelt and reprocess and granulate into the small granular plastic form, and then that small granules can be again used in the for producing then another product. In this process, basically the material is heated into the extruder at the desired temperature so that they melt and they can be extruded in the form of plates, flakes, granules, pellets, and then these melted flakes can be cut into the small pieces and in the form of granule, and this granules will be again available as another source of material, secondary source of material, and these granules alone can be used for producing a new product, or in combination with the other virgin material, certain amount of the virgin material and certain amount of recycled material can be used for producing a new product. Then it is coming the chemical recycling. Chemical recycling is basically defined the process by which the polymers are chemically converted into the monomer, partially depolymerized to oligomer through chemical reaction. These monomers are used to polymerize a new polymer, and so that the new polymer can be, further new granules can be produced. Biological recycling or organic recycling is basically the its new name is the organic recycling, where the biodegradation is another option for treating the certain types of plastic waste, and the plastics are treated in the aerobic or anaerobic decomposition environment after collecting and separating them to non-biodegradable contaminants. These contaminants are to be separated from them. Then fourth option is that if the plastics is further, if the less value or less properties are available in the material in the waste, then it can be used for energy recovery. It is used in the plant, cement plants, by burning in the incineration process, because as we all know that these plastics are produced from the petroleum product, the source of material, and then it is used as a plastic, and then again it can be used as a by burning, the energy part can be recovered. Now, which process to be applied of the recovery, plastic recovery or recycling process depends upon the many factors like quality and quantity of the plastic waste available. Like quality and quantity means, suppose how much is the amount of the plastic waste available, from which source it is available, Like quality means if it is the plant waste, the quality of the plastic waste is good. If the plastic waste is from the post-consumer waste and it is highly contaminated, then it is the quality of the plastic waste is not good. So it will be based on that the recycling process options will be applied. Whether it is a mixed one, it is separated one, then availability and capability of existing technology and equipment. Like suppose there can be a technology available for so many options can be applied, but what the technology available, what the machinery is available with us, what the infrastructure available for doing the recycling, that is very important to select. Suppose it is of advanced machines with the latest technologies available, we can try with the best option, better options, which will be leading to a good quality of recyclate, and the value of the recyclate will be accordingly higher sale value will have, thus the scrap value will be high. But if the technology is not good and machine is not equipped with the separating and different contaminants and high quality of recyclate cannot be produced, then accordingly we have to choose the recycling options. Then options comes that suppose whatever the technology we use it, now what is the need of having the recycling needs a guideline. Guideline means how to best way we have to recycle. There are the guidelines, some guidelines are available which to be followed, and that guideline is basically the purpose is that the plastic recycling process should be done in the environmental friendly manner. That is one purpose why the guideline is required, because the recycling can be done if suppose not in the environmentally friendly manner. Say for example, if anybody takes the plastic, say for example, you must have heard that electronic waste, somewhere some precious metals are used in the PCB printed circuit board of electronic circuit like TV and all those things. We must have heard that sometimes the plastic is burned in the open environment to recover the precious metals from because once it is burnt, the plastic will burn out and the precious metal can be recovered. But such burning will create an environmental pollution. And so, suppose we are doing the recycling and it is generating the smoke, or it is causing the lot of the smoke is going nearby area, so that may affect the environment part. So environment friendly manner is one aspect why the guideline is required to be followed, because reduce the recyclate of the better quality and the data information. Say for example, if suppose I am going to recycle a plastic, once the recycled plastic is produced, what is then the recycled plastic should be tested, evaluated, that what is the quality of the recyclate. So that recyclate is taken into the laboratory tests the material properties different and prepares the data, prepares the information about the recyclate, so that if suppose I am the buyer of that recyclate, I can go through the data and see that this data is suitable for my producing a particular product or not. It may be suitable. So the data generation is another aspect of recycling. Means this guideline provides that once you do the recycling and generate the recyclate, and from that recyclate, what is the characteristics, the data and information to be prepared and should be available to your customers, should be available to the whoever is the concerned in that. Value addition to the waste. Say for example, if the plastics are recycled, there are certain properties get compromised. certain properties are lost if the material are produced and again it is recycled, because there will be some loss in the property which was the virgin material. Now, once it has become the recycled, so the property loss will be there due to its melting and processing, and sometime if it is post-consumer waste, it has gone into the waste stream, it has exposed to the environment, it has exposed to the heat, it has so this thing is basically reducing the property of the material compared to the virgin material. So many times, suppose my objective is that by adding certain amount of certain additives, we can improve the quality of the recyclate. That can be done. Value additions can be done by adding some fillers, some reinforcement. Suppose I want to make it strong mechanically to the recyclate, I can add during the recycling process itself some sort of filler fibers. So that will make, so value addition help consumer and manufacturer users of plastic recyclate through data about the recycling, identification, marking. Means suppose one recycler is producing the recyclate, that has to be sold to the another industry, another customer. Now customer wants complete information about that material, so that it is in the pack. In the packet, it is everything. Data sheet is available. Packet is having the certain informations like which material it is there, which grade is there, which date it was manufactured, what was the batch number. All the informations should be available on the recyclate which is packed in a packet, so that any reader, anybody who is interested party can read the data through the leaflet, and he can buy. Once he is buying the packet of the material, he can verify that all the information is available. This information is basically available on the virgin material. So the similar information should be available in the recycled material. Recycled material also, this is the objective of the recycling, objective of the guideline. Helpful in the compliance to the government regulatory bodies requirement, because the certain places the regulatory requirement comes in the recycling. So this guideline is very much helpful to that, promoting recycling of different plastic waste into formal sector. Actually, the plastic is recycled in many large amount of plastic is recycled into the informal sector, but the informal sector are not following the many guidelines. They are lacking with the information, they are lacking with the proper technology, lacking with the different type of material. So this leads to their formal sector. They can work and generate the data, and their data can be available, how much they produced, how much they have sold, what the grade they have produced, what the data it is having. So this will help in the many to the customer, to the client, as well as to the government, to the regulatory body, to the environment and all those things. So this guideline is very, very important for that. So for the purpose of guideline, there are some Indian standards, there are some international standards which are at the place. Like one is guideline for recovery and recycling cycle. The Bureau of Indian Standard has published one Indian standard. Its number is 14534, 2016. This standard is basically has prescribed the guideline for how to select, how to segregate. Suppose in the post-consumer weight, variety of plastics are mixed together. So those how they should be segregated at the source, and then how they should be processed. This scrap and waste, how it should be processed. So the selection, segregation of the plastic is process. Then standard also establish the quality requirement that should be considered in all the steps of recovery process. Like suppose plastic waste is received. It's a cleaning, how much is important, is drying is how much important, then how what type of plastics are there, because when it is a commingled plastic or mixed plastic, there will be so many different types of plastics. So different type of plastics has got the different processing characteristics. Some will be processed at 200 degrees, some will be processed at 240 degrees, some will be processed at 190 degrees, some at 300 degrees. So we cannot put all the material together for the recycling purpose. So unless otherwise they are separated, and every plastic has got the different value, which is melted at the 300 degree centigrade, 250 degree, 260 degree, is a different plastic. It has got a different value. Its market value is different. This standard also prescribes the guideline for manufacturers of the plastic product regard to making to use in the finished product. Like suppose I am producing a polypropylene material and I want to add some 20% of recycled material. So it should not happen that in the polypropylene material, some other material is mixed together. So polypropylene materials only recycled can be used. So thus it making the sorting and recycling easier. Identification for there, as I have shown that there are different plastics has got a different number. For identification, those who are rag pickers, those who are not educated, just by seeing the number, they can segregate their separate, different number of plastic waste can be kept separately. But where the limitations are there, such thing is not there. Then there is another standard, which is the IS 14534 plastic guideline for recovery and recycling of plastics. Another standard is this IS 14355. It is the recycled plastic for manufacturing of product. It is for the designations, means how the plastic can be designated. Identification and classification of recycled material on the basis of basic properties and application. Then there is another guideline is the IS 16591 part 1 for the plastics, the mixture of polyethylene and polypropylene recycled derived from polyethylene and polypropylene used for flexible and rigid consumer packaging. It is the designation system and basis for specification. Basically, here is this standard is dealing with the polyethylene and polypropylene commingled plastic or mixed plastic. Since these plastics are very similar in the nature, polyethylene and polypropylene, so they can be processed together. So for that purpose, a separate guideline is created through this IS standard. This standard establishes the system and can be used the basis for the specification of mixture of polypropylene and polypropylene recyclate. Here is this standard is that since this material are very compatible to each other, so they can be used and recycled together, and they can be used anywhere. And it covers the mixture of polyethylene and polypropylene recyclate. And from the flexible and rigid consumer packaging. Flexible packaging means like carry bag is a flexible packaging. Rigid packaging means it is like a bottle, shampoo bottle, or any kind of bottle which is in the rigid form, like oil packing bottle. It can be shampoo bottle. It can be any kind of bottle, medicines bottle. So these are the rigid packaging. So polyethylene and polypropylene both are used widely in the flexible packaging, which is in the film form, in the laminate form, in the like chips packaging or biscuit packaging. Lot of variety of packagings it is used. Like milk pouches, it is a flexible packaging. And recyclate from packaging used for the transport, handling, storage, hazardous goods shall not be used. It does not apply to the mixture of recyclate and virgin resin. Then another is the post-consumer polyethylene terephthalate bottles. Actually, the polyethylene terephthalate bottle, there is a separate guideline. It is separate from the polyethylene and polypropylene, because the consumption, as you know, that the PET bottle consumption is very huge. This material, its characteristic is quite different from the polyethylene and polypropylene. So therefore, it is basically material is, once it is used and again it comes as a post-consumer waste, there is a certain changes in its intrinsic viscosity value. So its application, it is the nowadays it is the, there are so many techniques which can be produced the recyclate to at par with the virgin material, but wherever it is not, it can be used. It's due to change in its IV value, intrinsic viscosity value, which is normally changes. So that make it suitable for the like producing the fibers. A lot of fibers, staple fibers is produced from the PET bottles. It applies to the material used for the powder, flakes and pellets. Another standard is IS 15270 is guideline for recovery cycle of plastic waste. Then there are some other standards which are international standard, like EN standard is IS 13432. It is a requirement for packaging recoverable through composting and biodegradation. Test scheme and biodegradation criteria. Then there is a standard ASTM D6400 standard. This standard is basically for leveling of plastic designed to be aerobically composted in the municipal and industrial facilities. Then there is a DIN standard V54900 part 2, ISO 17088. It is the specification for compostable plastic. It's now the title has changed to the very recently by ISO. That is organic recycling is general topic, general title has been changed, IS 17088. Then ASTM D5338. This is basically the method for determining the aerobic biodegradation of the plastic material used under the controlled composting condition. There is a composting conditions under which this is the aerobic biodegradation processes it is done. Many times I want to mention here this, many times it is misunderstood that the plastic which is biodegradation, many times people are talking, but basically this is a composting is very different, and biodegradation means, many times people think that biodegradation means just it is thrown into the environment and it will biodegrade it. Such things are this standard very much clearly defines that this can be done in the aerobic biodegradable conditions only. Then it is the ISO 14855. ISO 14855 part 2 is there, part 1 is there. Then there is ISO 17556 is determining the ultimate aerobic biodiversity of plastic material in the soil by measuring the oxygen demand in the respirometer or the amount of carbon dioxide evolved. So this is the standards which are basically for the compostability, biodegradability, which are the different international standards available. There is a for Indian standard also equivalent to IS 17088. It has been adopted by the Bureau of Indian Standard, and ISO standard is also published with the same number. These are some guidelines which is for the material recovery. As suppose I am going for the mechanical recycling, then this is the line diagram which is normally followed. The sequence of operation in mechanical recycling might have been explained earlier. That suppose the plastic is collected, then it is the plastics are to be identified. Different types of plastic is to be identified. Whether it is a polyethylene, it is a polypropylene, it is ABS, it is the PET, it is the PVC, it is a which material, it is the identification has to be done. And identification by the rag picker can be done by the seeing the symbol. That is the, as I have shown earlier. Then based on identification, they should be sorted out, and then sorted out material are to be grinded. Sometimes it may be in the big size and shape, so it can be grinded to the smaller size, and then it can be washing can be done, because it may contain if suppose the plastic is the post-consumer waste, then definitely there will be a lot of contaminations. And but if it is the plant waste, probably the washing may not be required. And then if wherever the post-consumer, because the plant waste is not undergoing any kind of contamination or exposure to any such environment, and but post-consumer is need to be washed so that the dirt and common contaminations are removed. It is to be dried so that the moisture is not there. Moisture because is undesirable for the recycling. Then agglomerate, then mixing. Sometimes we may require that agglomerations is done, and suppose we want to add some kind of for value additions, or we want to add some colors, or some kind of thing we want to make it, that can be done. Then it can become extruded and extruded to the in the strand format, and those strands are cut or pelletized into the smaller size, so that it in the form of the granules. This is the basically line diagram, and this normally this sequence is applied in thermoset material and reinforced plastics. Normally it is the recycling is not done, but sometimes it can be used. It's a fiber recovery or some valuable material recovery can be done if it is viable, because it is most of the time it is not viable in thermoset material, but this materials can be used by grinding to some other place as a filler. That is possible. So in this same process, collection, identification, sorting, grinding, washing, and separating. Pre-treatment is there. Pre-treatment, as I said, that it is a washing, cleaning, drying, identification, sorting. These all are the pre-treatment, means before treatment starts, the exercise which is done before process, it is pre-treatment. Then identification of plastic, because the plastic post-consumer waste will have a variety of plastics, and they cannot be together, cannot be recycled. If they are recycled, then it will be difficulties will be there, that it cannot be successfully or best way it cannot be processed, number one, because some plastic, its process temperature will be different. Some plastic may be containing the metal part, pigment, color, some other will not be having. So once you are recycling together, then the recyclate will be the very poor quality. So for that purpose, the material identity should be identified by chemical process, by chemical test or lab test or burning test, or by labeling, which is like, and since it is very much, plastics are very much sometimes very complex mixed material, so advanced techniques, instrument can be used, like FTIR or NMR can be used to identify them. Then once they are identified, they should be separated and sorted out, so that one type of plastic is means each type of plastics are kept separately. Then the quality of recyclate is like contaminations. How much is contamination, then visual aesthetic aspect कैसा है, mechanical, chemical and electrical properties कैसी है. Contaminants means like it may be in the plastic recycled source of plastic, there will be a contamination of different type. Like as I said, that it may be a dust, dirt, mud, or it may be those kind of thing which might have come while they are thrown into the open environment, but they may be having a contamination in the polymer itself. Like one plastic may be having a contamination of another plastic. Means in a plastic, two different types of plastics are there, or in the plastic some kind of fillers are added, like suppose glass fiber is there, yeah, some color is there, pigment is there. So they are also contamination. Sometimes these contaminations are affecting in the recycling process, like additives will be burned out and may burn out, and it may cause the environmentally it may affect it. It may be another, like suppose bottle hai, PET bottle. PET bottle is made of polyethylene material, whereas the cap is made of the HDP material or polypropylene material. So like closures, like there may be a labels, like bottles, like shampoo bottle, it is having some labeling to provide the information about the what was containing in the bottle. But once it has been used and it came in as a post-consumer waste, so before recycling, those labels are to be removed. Otherwise, those labels will get melted along with the polymer while recycling, and they will affect the quality of the recycling. Then some contamination may be a non-polymeric in the nature, like fillers, reinforcement, color, dirt, labels like this. Then it's a visual and aesthetic look. कैसी है? Sometimes it is the some plastic waste will be in the transparent form. Some may be opaque form. Some may be a black color. Some may be red color. Some may be yellow color. So this all will affect the aesthetic look. Properties of recyclate is important. That once it is, as I mentioned earlier, that once the recyclate is produced, its quality is important, and that gives the value to the business. And because the property of the, as I have said that if plastic we are melting again and again, if suppose melt one time and product is made, and then after that again when remelting and recycling, in that process, basically heating and cooling and applying the pressure in that while recycling, there is a breaking of the molecular chain. And due to that, the plastic becomes weak and weak and weak. In every recycling process, at the end of every recycling process, the plastic loses its property, some of the properties. And so every time its property is not as equal to the virgin material. Rather, its property has changed, reduced. So suppose we want to enhance it, maintain the same property as it was its original, then we have to give some value addition to that recyclate by adding some filler, by adding some additive, by adding some nanofillers or some better material, so that the property which are lost due to recycling, that property is compensated by the addition of the new material, so that it is at par or better than the earlier material. There are quality control evaluation labs, like which are the most common tests, like some display you can see. The property which normally indicated, which can be measured, which can be an indicator of the loss of property, and recycled material processing parameter is also needs to be modified, because due to its remelting, reprocessing, when it is the change season is there, its property which are changing is, one is the mechanical strength becomes weak. Its electrical property, insulation characteristics, if suppose we consider, it becomes weak. Its aesthetic appearance becomes dull. Suppose virgin was very much shining, the recyclate will be a dull surface. It's this we can know that how much property has changed just by, if suppose virgin material has certain parameter like melt flow index value. Once it is recycled, that material, suppose it was having X value of melt flow index, and that material is recycled, And then if we measure the recycled material melt flow index value, you will find that there is a change in the melt flow index value. So what is happening? This indicates that this flow rate of the material gets increased. So if that recyclate is again taken in the plastic processing machine, so its flow will be high. So its process parameter needs to be readjusted. It cannot be processed with the same parameter. Probably you need to modify some adjust the process parameter. The similar way, the many places when there is losing electrical property, you can add some filler and adjust it. Losing mechanical property, add the fiber reinforcement, it may be adjusted. So these are some tests which are carried out, and so that we can know that what has happened to the after the recycling and what kind of readjustment is required. Now there is one is the criteria for acceptance. One is the proper identification, including batch number of the identified polymer. Like batch number का मतलब ये है कि suppose any industry who is recycling plastic waste, once the recycled product is produced, he is supposed to generate the data. He is supposed to generate all the information that which day it was produced, which machine it was used, what was the what is the its color, batch number, everything that data usme add, if you have added any additives, fillers, color, pigments, this all the information has to be there in the packaging. And the property which has been which can be achieved from that granule or which is achieved in the lab test should be printed in the data sheet, in the leaflet should be available so that anybody can read it and know that this recyclate was produced on so and so date by on so and so machinery by so and so company, and it's a data from the recycle which was tested in the lab has this value of their property, and they so that any customer who wants to buy the recyclate can know and choose that yes, this material he can buy and it will be useful for him. So this is a one in the guideline. There is a one clause of marking. Marking means the recycled plastic granules when it is packed in a package. एक bag में packing होने पर the bag should have a certain information which need not to be opened the bag, but all the information should be printed on the bag itself. Like this symbol should be indicated. Whether in this bag is which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which one is available, which one is there inside. And in addition to the symbol, the product made of recycled processed plastic shall be marked as a recycled, indicating the percentage of recycled material. Like suppose any product we are making it. Suppose any product is containing, suppose I used 80% of virgin material and 20% of the recycled material and produced a product. So it should be indicated that if suppose R0 is indicated, means it is made of virgin, full 100% virgin material, or it is bag contains fully 100% virgin material. R1 means it is about 10%. R2 means about 11 to 20%. R3 means 21 to 30%. This is a guideline of marking to the recycled material. The following information shall be printed in English, Hindi, local language, wherever possible, on the end product for the benefit of user and reprocessor. Suppose that any product is manufactured using the recycled material, that information has to be, this is the guideline made by the Bureau of Indian Standard that it should be printed in English, Hindi and the local language for the benefit of the user and reprocessor. This product like carry bag, shopping bag, bottle, this thing, किस चीज से है produced है. Our carry bag container made of the recycled plastic shall be labeled as not suitable for packaging, carrying food products, pharmaceutical and drinking water. Because see, one thing to be remembered that normally the standard does not permit that any recycled plastic is used. Normally, the recycled plastic is used for the food packaging because the recycled plastics has certain different changed characteristics. Virgin material of that material may be suitable for food packaging products, packaging of food items, but the recycled material may not be suitable for packaging the same material may not be suitable. Reason is that it in the recycling process, its resistance to the leakage, migration, leaching gets reduced. So a lot of plastics may get leached out. Some contamination may leach out, which may mix with the food. So like drinking water bottle, the bottle which has been produced for packaging of the water, probably that chip, if the bottle is recycled, again that chip cannot be used for the packaging of the drinking water. So this normally the recycled material are not recommended for packaging in the food packaging or pharmaceutical packaging or drinking water applications. There are so many techniques are there, advancement is there in the recycling process. Many recycling processes are available, the advancement are there, but depending upon the viability of the process, the plants are installed. There are so many technologies, so many advances are there, like automatic sorting, automatic identification and sorting of the different plastics, washing, cleaning, labeling, packing, mixing, all these technologies are there. There are some machines are equipped with the very high technology where they do every process automatically. There are some machinery which are to be done manually. Some are to be done in a very crude manner. Some people are still doing, but there are a lot of advancement is there. So whatever is available, the cost benefit, investment versus return, whatever is the possible, accordingly the plants are available. There are many challenges in the plastic recycling process. One challenge is that a lot of mixed plastics are thrown available in the market, which are not segregated at the source, which is very difficult to remove and separate it once they are mixed together. Because at a time, maybe more than 10 different types of plastics will be there at the source itself. People are lacking the informations, education and training that they should keep separate. Even if it is kept separately, when it goes to the collected, then it is mixed together. It is not the way it is collected, the same way it is reaching to the plant. The cost-effective and efficient recycling of this plastic stream is the biggest challenge, because mostly the recycling plastic in the packaging, particularly the flexible packaging recycling, has a big challenges, because it is not a simple or plain or one type of plastic. Many times some packages are having the combination of the plastic. Some plastics are having the label, color, metal, metallized surface to achieve certain permeability property in the food packaging. So for example, if I am packaging or printing, so there is a challenges that how to this plastic can be separated and cleanly, neatly it is recycled. Recovery and recycling of post-consumer flexible packaging is the recycling problem. Most material recovery facility at local authority do not actively collect it due to the lack of equipment and can be efficiently and easily separate them. Oceanic plastic pollution has become the recent flashpoint. Ocean plastics is expected very high to be in the next few years. So these are the few challenges. Then plastic waste management rule is there, which I think there is a separate session, but this rule was made in 2016, which was amended in 2018. And again, it is being included recently, which is coming up. These are some of the scenario which is beyond our this. Landscape degradation, then open burning. There are so many talk, debate, and so many things are going on. But since consumption of the plastic is one of the parameter for हम 10 मिनट में बात करते हैं, एक लेक्चर में है, लेक्चर ले रहे हैं. Then impact of plastic pollution is that whatever is there, which we all know, but it is, since it is like burning of plastic is sometime it is being done, as I said, that in the electronic waste, sometimes people burn, sometimes the waste is there, let us burn it out, which is the issue, which produces the gas. Plastic waste dumping is may contaminate the soil and water, because the plastics are containing some sort of additives, chemical additives, which may in due course of time with the rain, sunlight and all these things may leach out, and they may permeate to the soil, it may permeate to the water sources, and they may contaminate to the soil, they may contaminate to the water, they may contaminate to the air. If it is burned, it's done. Littered plastic waste may be affected to the drain. That is, if it is littered, then definitely it is a big challenge that our habit, it is many times it is being talked, and it is serious concern is expressed that littering of the plastic should be controlled, stopped. Some plastic, as I mentioned, that may be containing some additives, some chemicals like lead, cadmium, pigment, and their leachability may be sometimes different plastic may have leaching. So now the government is taking adequate steps that this kind of additives, which are lead-based or cadmium or any toxic in the nature, is not used as an additive. And it is also, if it is used, then they are having their quantity very much within the limit that they are not affecting to the environmental environment. Whether it is plastic waste management rule is identified. All these things are different to fix the responsibility that to control the government has fixed the responsibility on the brand owner, producers, importer. This rule has been brought where the producer has to work it out that if suppose raw material producer is producing the raw material, he is also having the responsibility to some extent to these plastic waste. Those who are processors, they are also having some responsibility to the waste. Those who are the brand owner or those are importer, they have also the responsibility. They are supposed to contribute in the proper recycling and waste management. Primary responsibility of collection of multi-layer plastic sheet and pouches or packaging, like this brand owners are there. Action plan is this is the system that which has been made in the this rule. Extended producer responsibility is there. Environmental protection strategy, producer have to be made responsible for environmentally sound management and product until the end of the life. So they are supposed to pay for the recycling and to the end of the life of the product. For the different functions, there are the prescribed authority, which basically just for information, it has been like a state pollution control and pollution control committee is there. Authority, and what they are doing, manufacturing and recycling. These all are the things which are the part of the waste management rules amended by 2018. So responsibility of local body, gram panchayat, everybody has been given some of the responsibility in this waste management rule. Channelizing the recyclable plastic waste fraction to recyclers, and ensuring the processing and disposal of the non-recyclable plastic as per the guideline issued by the Central Pollution Control Board. Conducting awareness program for the plastic waste management, because here is one of the important that we feel that the awareness should be there at the school or at every level. Many times it is not understood properly, and this leads to the wastage, disposal, improper disposal. The responsibility of waste generation is generated. Those who are generating the waste, they have also provision that they should minimize the plastic waste generation and segregation at source. Whenever we are using in our houses, we are supposed to keep the different types of plastic separately. Wet, dry should not be mixed. Food should not be packed in a carry bag and throw out, because it gets contaminated and recycling becomes very difficult. And no spreading out of the plastic waste, and ensure the segregated storage of waste at source. Every person responsible for organizing an event in open space, which involves the service food stuffs. A lot of steps are already taken and being implemented, but success depends upon to what extent it is effectively implemented. Marking or labeling, name. This is the part of waste management rule, that name, registration number, manufacturer, thickness in case of carry bag. Now carry bag thickness has been increased in the waste management rule. Single-use plastics, all these things has come. Littering up plastic waste in the public places, bus, station, railway, track, burning plastic, non-recyclable plastic waste. The issues and challenges in the plastic waste management is that littering up plastic waste in the public places, bus station, railways, track, dustbin, these things are there. Burning up plastic, this is also a challenge. Non-recyclable plastic waste such as multi-layered metallized pouches and other thermoset plastic poses a disposal problem, because some plastics which are not recycled. Unscientific way of waste processing, disposal in the plastic, as I mentioned, that a lot of informal recycling is being done in the informal sector. So they are not proper, they are not following the proper guideline of the recycling and waste management. So they lead very unscientific way, it causes the threat to the environment. Unregistered plastic waste recycling industries operating in the non-conforming areas, like residential area, and somebody is recycling in residential area, they are posing threat to the environment. Like plastic waste shall be recycled as per the guideline which I have just above discussed, that IS 14534 with amendment of 2018. If the plastics, another thing is the plastic, recycled plastic is become unviable, then it can be used in the road construction. It can be used in the energy recovery in the incineration process. It can be taken into the waste oil, chemical recycling. All these things, options are available where the end of the life of the plastic waste is done. It can be, this is one indicator how to utilize plastic waste and dispose it. First we should prevent it, then we should minimize it. Wherever possible, we should, like minimizing means we should not buy any item. Yeah, for buying a vegetable, we are asking, give me the carry bag. So we can minimize it. Suppose we carry our own bag, we may not ask. So minimizing can be done. or certain product which is made with the today with a thick plastic. It can be designed with the high performing thin plastics, where it is 500 grams plastic is used, it can be used with 300 grams. We should encourage reusing, recycling, energy recovery, and then lastly it should be disposed. This is the way we should try to do. Innovative technology for disposal of plastic waste is the utilization of plastic in the road construction. It is one option which I discussed. Co-processing of plastic in the cement kilns, because it is the second is the energy recovery, because once it is burned, while burning it has got enough calorific value, and that due to that the energy can be recovered. It can in the plant. Conversion of plastic waste into the fuel. Refuse derived fuel is a chemical process, like it can be fuel can be generated. Disposal of plastic through the plasma pyrolysis technology. As we all know that this plastic is being produced from the petroleum source, which is a fossil fuels. It has the limited resources. Once the resource has gone, it has gone forever. So whatever the plastic what we are using it should be utilized in such a way that it is become the secondary source of material, and it is utilized in a very effective way, and zero waste is generated, and as soon as possible that we should try to every value of the plastic should be taken up, and which basically normally, as I said, that it is energy recovery by incineration or road construction, or this, it is like in the terms of economy, we say that it is the circular economy, means it is a economy, complete thing is recovered from the plastic, from its source to the end. Is the flow diagram which is implemented in the municipal authority in the plastic waste, which is a just for indicator, and it can be quite variable also. So this is just basic informations, and these are some of the alternate conventional petro-based plastic carry bag films, which is basically not part of this, but anyway, what we should do it that what is to be done is way forward in the plastic waste management mein kya hai. What should be way forward is that awareness is very, very important, that public at the school level and college level, everywhere there has to be a awareness program on the plastics, using less than 50 micron, and now the thickness has been increased to the higher side. Open burning should be strictly prohibited. Door-to-door collection shall be enforced by urban local bodies. Segregation of waste should not be done in the ward level, should be done at the ward level and each municipality. Wet waste should be converted into the organic compost, bio, methane, vermicompost, etc. Restriction on the manufacture and use of single-use plastic products such as carry bag, cups, plates, straw, wherever is possible. Actually, if it is the alternative is available, then it should be prevented or prevented from use. But as such, the plastic is so versatile, so low cost, so easy to use, that as on date there is no alternate of the plastics, and is the quality of the life and need of various applications is so important that we, despite a lot of restriction, it is still, its need has been felt every time. Encourage alternate to the plastic product like paper, compostable cloth, jute. But since these all are again it is coming, like suppose we take the paper, yeah, compostable, yeah, cloth, jute bags, these all are from the, they are available in the limited amount. They are all the agriculture based. Some plant paper like cutting with the trees, which cannot be afforded for the having the alternate to the plastic, because the consumption as on the date is a very huge in every sector. In many sectors, is the consumption is like, if you take the packaging, there is a packaging, a huge consumption of the plastics. If today the plastic is not there, the packaging solution is not available in the jute or any other material. So because of that reason, alternate can be in certain places, but not every place is possible as on the date with the present materials and technology available. This is all about the which I intended to cover. So thank you all for hearing me. And if anybody wishes to interact with me or anything to discuss, I can very well do that. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. We are there is no direct question here.
Yeah.
As I can see, if anybody has any question, please send in the chat box. Although all the questions and concerns that were raised by many participants in the previous, I can say, previous sessions have been addressed in this session itself, especially regarding the quality of the plastic that is being used after recycling. What should be the quality, what should be the guidelines. All this has been covered very extensively in this session, and I am sure all the participants have got excellent information as they are sharing in the feedback in the chat itself. And I believe that all of them have been benefited by this extensive and exclusive talk. I am grateful to you, sir, that you, despite your busy schedule, you spared the time for this nice session, and all the participants have been benefited. As I can see, the feedback is coming in the chat itself. So once again, hearty thanks and gratitude to you on behalf of the organizing committee. We all thank you for sparing your valuable time. We'll end the session here, and we are thankful to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The session has virtually ended now, and this session has been delivered by Dr. Yadav, who is also the principal director of this organization, and a great scholar, great authority as far as standard and guidelines are concerned in India. We'll be sharing the link for Google this exam very soon. Before we can have that, we have 10 minutes probably. I request the participants to kindly share their feedback in the open forum, so that we will be able to analyze how well we have been able to connect. If there is somebody, we can he can unmute and he wants to speak, please go ahead. Whether you
participant can unmute there, sir.
Hello, sir.
yes, please, Aruna ma'am, please speak first.
Yeah.
I think Aruna ma'am is somehow yeah, please. Please allow Aruna ma'am to speak, please.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir, and good afternoon, all participants. Sir, thank you, Dr. Irfan, and your college, actually, and the organization Atal. They are keeping such a type of very informative, that is a workshop for the on plastic waste management, its opportunities and challenges. Really, it's a very great opportunity to us listen such a type of nice session. And some of the session might be, it's a very informative that really didn't heard before that one. So especially I mentioned that about Lovis sir is there, which he talked about, that is the deposit return scheme. Really I appreciate well. And yesterday talk, that is Sarang. Actually, he's a very young fellow, but lots of information he have. And again, I got it because I started one of the project itself, itself me, and that I again got it some good ideas to start my work again, and with the quality work actually. Because initially I already started, but really there are some, always there is some improvement is required. But yesterday I got a lot many ideas, and that's why I can do that work on that particular project in a very nice way, and that will be get benefited by my students also. So thank you so much, sir, for giving me opportunity to talk here, and give me opportunity to express my views on this webinar. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Aruna ma'am. You have been participating very actively and have been very forefront in interacting with the speakers, and we are very thankful to you for that. Please, I was hearing somebody else. Please unmute yourself and speak. Manoj sir, you wanted to speak, I feel.
Every participant can unmute themselves, as well as they can on their video also. Has been granted from it.
Manoj Raula sir, you wanted to speak something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity for say a little bit regarding this FTP. I'm extremely happy to join this FTP. It's really up to date, and as all the most of the speakers have mentioned that apart from the technology differences, whatever we have, we cannot actually go, till now, we are not able to develop that much of technology, which is actually need of the hour. But still, the management can be a very necessary tool to manage all these plastic waste. It's really very good understanding for me. Being a chemist, okay, so just a little bit background. My background is I am a chemistry professor in Amity University, Noida. I teaches chemistry to students. And I have a very good background in polymer science as well. So it's really interesting for me, but just and also very well coordinated by you, sir, Dr. Irfan. And I would really like to join if in future something is really in the technological aspects, like how we can develop, like how we can how really we can from the plastic, like few speakers although told, like from the polymers, how we can determine, how can produce the monomers, and from there again we can make the polymers. So this kind of more speakers, if you can accommodate in future, so it will be very great, like helpful for faculties like us, those who are actually working in this field. So so it's very good. Thank you and congratulations to all the organizing team, and thank you all for organizing such a nice event. Thank you all.
Thank you so much for your appreciation. We value these words. If there is anyone who would like to speak, please come forward. It will be a great appreciation for all the efforts we have taken. And I request all the participants to please log into your FDP ID and you have to give in the feedback. Please don't forget that, because unless that is done, they won't release the certificates. Dr. Sunita wants to speak something.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah. Please.
Sir, yeah. So, good evening, everyone. So, sincere and heartfelt thanks to organizing team for this arranging this valuable session with a lot of case studies. What I like it, the case studies part, because it will just see the scope where we can work with the real study. That approach I liked both with all the speakers or whatever they have delivered the content. It was very, very informative. Being a chemistry background, I thought that I have enhanced this knowledge, the same knowledge I can transfer to the students, especially in the case of the project-based learning. And we will see the practical approach was also there. Only one suggestion that if we can arrange these speakers to our students also, so that we can make a group, we can make a team, and with the right approach, we can work for the nation, for the institute, for the society, for everywhere. So this type of student development program, if we are going to arrange, so we can arrange their speakers also. But it's a wonderful session, and this special thanks to you also, and all the the selection of all the speakers. We can say the great inspiring leaders they have come, and they spare their valuable time. That is achievable. It's a commendable, sir, we can say the commendable appreciation and the work done which is done by your team. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sunita. And I would like to add here that all these speakers from various backgrounds, they're extremely busy. But the best part is that they are so humble that once we approach them, they never say no.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the best part with them. We have Dr. Sonika, madam, please go ahead. She wants to.
So it was an excellently organized FDP. I must commend CIPET and especially sir, you, Mr. Irfan, for bringing such an array of speakers who have themselves been real change makers. So we got an insight into their the vast experience pool which they have. Unlike other FDPs wherein mostly the persons are from an academic background, this was totally hands-on. And I think this is needed. This was such a motivation. And so I would like to have my students being associated with CIPET. If they can come, we can do projects together. It will be wonderful. Thank you. Thanks a ton, Lord.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your appreciation. And the concept behind all this was to bridge the gap between industry and academia, which is not possible otherwise. In our normal circumstances, we keep in touch with the academicians, but never want to go ahead and involve people from industrial background. So I am extremely thankful to you for your appreciating words, and we would love to be engaged in any forum, any way wherein we can add the value to the students in any form. Thank you so much. I think there were some more hands were being raised. I'm sorry if I saw somebody. Please go ahead. Please go ahead. Whosoever wants to speak. Okay, Doctor. Just a moment, sir. I'll just unmute you. Manish sir, can you please unmute them?
So,
yeah, please go ahead.
okay, good afternoon to all of you. Actually, I am a faculty who is handling a polymer recycling course at our college. We have a polymer science and technology BE course at SJC Mysore. So I have, though I have teaching this subject, but even I feel like I have learned so many things from attending this FDP. And all the resource persons that were selected had very deep insight into the topic, and many speakers had their own experience who can share very effectively the challenges and the opportunities involved in plastic waste management. And I think this is one of the issues that needs to be addressed in the current scenario. And also, as CIPET has chosen this topic as an FDP, it was very wonderful insight into that issue. So I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Dr. Yuvraj, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Dr. Yuvraj Chauhan. I am working at Government Polytechnic Miras in Sangli district of Maharashtra. Basically, this is the Polytechnic college, and the students comes after 10th pass for specifically for plastic engineering. So this workshop is very much useful for me because recycling is the main issues in plastic engineering, waste management. So it is very much useful, this workshop for me and the speakers. Specifically, I appreciate Imtiaz Ali sir, that is Bhopal model. That session was very useful for me because I am also somewhat working on the recycling of waste plastic to make the plastic fuels at this diploma level, and I have got good results. And I am thankful to Irfan sir for giving me opportunity for presenting myself in this workshop. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kavita. You can please unmute and speak.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Kavita Kulkarni from Bharati Vidyapeeth College of Engineering, Pune, from Chemical Engineering Department. I have attended FDPs earlier also, but this is the FDP in which I have learned in every session all the practical applications. Not a single theory was there, and it was amazing. All the sessions were totally practical, and it is very good for me that I have learned a lot from all the sessions. So thank you very much, organizing committee members, for organizing such a good workshop. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
This is all appreciation. We take it with a lot of thanks to all the participants for giving us so much of appreciation. And I am like on the. I am extremely glad that what I perceived or conceived as an FDP has been so successful in bringing about good change and bringing about a change of thought. And that is what the intention of this workshop was. Anybody else? I think Sharon, Karthik, please speak. All of you can unmute at any time. We haven't muted you. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So myself, architect Sharan Gowda Biradar. I have master's degree in sustainable architecture from Bharati Vidyapeeth.
Great.
And I've joined as an assistant faculty. And then throughout this session of 5 days, I have experienced something wherein a part of sustainability construction is a major thing that's going on today, which is a major problem with respect to the waste and management of it. Wherein we all know that plastic has been a most certainly a part of construction since very long, since its inception. Also, we can say after knowing its potential in construction industry. So then automatically plastic generates as a part of packaging. It is a huge thing that happens with us that we cannot eliminate that thing. But through this session, I really felt that there is a lot of potential that we can exploit in terms of recycling, or also in terms of minimal or optimum use of plastic that can be made possible. and there is also exponential growth which we can see in plastic when it comes to research and development, where it can be biodegradable, and whatever we see today, its age limit, I think we can always bring it down and make it effectively work, and that I came to know through the FDP. And thank you so much for such wonderful presentations and sessions, sir. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. We are indeed honored by your kind words. I would like to hear from somebody else. I had seen somebody raising the hands, but I'm not able to locate. Kindly, you can unmute. Anybody can unmute now. We haven't muted you, so you can.
Sir, I'm Dr. Parvati from Salem, Tamil Nadu, working as assistant professor of chemistry. Each and every session was very, very useful for me. And most impressed by yesterday afternoon session speaker, who's just 23 years old. Actually, yes, used each and every opportunity what he had, and he had made friend of them, and is still maintaining the relationship the way he spoke. Actually, he's very good for teaching field also. I was really amazed. As soon as I went home, I told my son, my younger son is 23-year-old and elder one is 26 plus. I told that boy is so much talented, and I was amazed that he had either one of you could have been like this. So each session, every speaker was selected fantastically. I will contact you, Irfan sir, for arranging in our college also. Thank you so much, sir.
Honor is all mine. And for the information of all the participants, probably after next week, you can find all the session videos online on YouTube. We will arrange to broadcast or to keep them in our official YouTube channel also. It is simply CPET IPT Lucknow. You can find it in YouTube. There are some videos as of now also, but we'll have all these videos on that. From next week onward, we'll be doing some post-production, and then we'll ship them to there. You can always use these videos for any purpose, and wherever you can, wherever you need our support, because this is virtual world now, I can sit here and deliver a lecture there. In this case, whatever help we can do, we'll be happy to help.
In fact, we should say thanks to Corona. That only made it possible for such webinars, FDPs, etc. So thanks to Corona in this aspect.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I must say there was somebody else I'm not able to gain who was trying to speak. I must once again remind you that you have to fill in, yes, Dr. Sunita or somebody else, you have to kindly fill in the feedback on your Atal ID, only then we'll be able to finish this, and the certificates will be released by Atal. They are very specific about that. Don't worry about the test. It's just at 4:30. We are sharing the link here as well as in the official group. But one, if we can have some quick words from somebody. Thank you, Anand Kumar sir, for appreciating. Thank you, Aparna ma'am, Aparna Sajjan ma'am. Speakers, in fact, were very good. Thank you all, Mahind Prabhu sir, Dr. Sunita, thank you so much. Dr. M. Shanmugam, thank you so much. Karan, thank you so much, sir. We tried our level best to keep it as informative as possible. I am just requesting Manish sir to kindly share the link to this. Yeah. Somebody.
Yes, sir. For the test, I'm posting the link on also and in a WhatsApp group also. I'm sharing here also, sir, in chat box and WhatsApp group also.
Okay, you have shared it already?
No, sir, just I'm going to share.
Okay, please, all of you, please confirm whether it has been. Let me tell you, this is one attendance cum feedback form we used to send you, but there is another feedback. You have to fill in the Atal ID from where you did the registration. That is very important. Please fill it. And I must take this opportunity to thank all the participants from different corners of our country, our beautiful country. You have the Google form in WhatsApp group as well as it's available in the chat here. So please finish it and submit it. Do remember to submit it. We all wish you all the best. It has been an excellent audience. Please remember that this is not the test of knowledge, but it was a requirement as per these Atal FDP provisions. So we had to incorporate it. Otherwise, we know you are excellent people. You have excellent knowledge coefficients. We don't want to check anybody's knowledge. This is just, that's why the test you will find is just general information and there is no deep-rooted knowledge in it. It's just what you could easily pick up from the sessions if you have attended. And that is the mere requirement for these sessions, for this test. I am extremely grateful to all and everybody who has been associated with this FDP. I am indebted to the head of our institution, Professor R.M. Mishra, Dr. S.N. Yadav, Dr. U.P. Singh, the HOD of the department, my colleagues of the team, especially Mr. Manish, who has been helping me, Ms. Niharika Srivastav, who has been helping me in organizing this event successfully, and I am grateful to God, thankful to God that we could get this 5-day long FDP, we could get it, manage it successfully, and we could get all the participants as well as we could get all the speakers on time for the FDP. In fact, yesterday, night at around 10, Mr. Balachandran, Sri Krishna Balachandran, who was going to speak today, he sent a message that I won't be taking the session tomorrow. So I requested him, and on his request, we had Mr. Pradeep in the morning, and he was and he was excellent in his deliverance, and I am thankful. When you have the will, you can do it. It's very difficult for arranging so many great people, especially from industry, when we are not in direct touch. But I must refer here to the contribution that Dr. Sameer Joshi has done, because he helped me in contacting these. He suggested this, many of these faculty members, and he helped me in contacting them, and he was in a regular touch. I am so grateful and thankful to you, Dr. Sameer Joshi. We tried, yes, we tried our level best to make it as coordinated as possible, but in the course of time, if somebody felt we were not able to be effectively helpful in some cases, we are extremely sorry for that. And we'll try to incorporate that in our next FDP. And at least I'm sure that all of you, we have email ID of all of you. Next time, whenever I am planning any FDP like that, I'll definitely send a message over to you that you should participate. And some of the participants who were there in our last FDP in February, they would have certainly felt what difference it was in that FDP and this FDP. This was totally an advanced FDP, and I am thankful to those participants who arranged to pass on this information to other people also. I must compliment them all that this whole participation wasn't possible otherwise. Please fill in your replies in the test very carefully. It's a very easy test. There is no issue. So if this is all we have from our side, I on my personal behalf, on behalf of the organizing committee, on behalf of the organization CIPET IPT Lucknow, thank you all for participating, for being with us so patiently and so nicely. You all were attending to the sessions. This is the time to say goodbye till we meet again on some other platform. I am always there to help you in whatever way we can. Thank you so much. I will take your leave now. And God bless all of you. God bless you with good health and keep shining, keep doing more good to this world. Thank you so much.